Got the main power.
Everybody was losing power. And we're sharing your memories this morning at 324-1220, 324-1220. How long did you lose power? Before we do that, though, we figure we bring on an expert. Mike Haggett of Pine Tree Weather. Morning there, Mike.
Andrew.
Hey. Thank you for calling me Andrew. I feel like we're on a Andrew basis. That's like you're on the inner circle.
This is Michael.
So Michael Haggett from Pine Tree Weather joining us here this morning on the anniversary of something fairly monumental, the ice storm of 1998, which carried over the course of a few days. Where were we on this date in 1998?
This was an 80-hour event, okay, just to kind of put it into perspective. I mean, we've had junk storms that have gone through here before where, you know, we might pick up an inch or so of ice or something like that. But they were usually in and out in roughly about 36 hours or so, maybe at the worst. This was an 80-hour event from the time that it began right around just after New Year's Day and then lingered on until roughly about either the 8th or the 9th of January by the time it was all said and done. It just kept going and going and going and going.
Now, why did it stop? Why did this one hang around so long?
Well, there was a strong ridge over the Atlantic that blocked things up, and when you had blocking to the north, you had blocking to the west, you had blocking to the east, you had blocking to the northwest. You had a stationary front that set up. There was just enough warmth and just enough moisture coming in from the southwest where it just sat and just it couldn't go anywhere. There was nowhere for this thing to go, and long periods of freezing drizzle, probably more than freezing rain, which freezing drizzle is the absolute worst because it slowly but surely accumulates on trees and power lines and everything else over time. And that was the situation that we were in.
Mike Haggett of Pine Tree Weather is joining us on the show this morning as we commemorate the ice storm of 1998. Mike, where were you on this date 28 years ago?
My wife and I were located at that point in Portland on the peninsula. And it was probably one of the most eeriest things that I've ever seen in my life. Because while this ice storm was going, I lived on right near Deering Oaks. And then all of a sudden, everybody started losing power. But by the grace of God, which I have no idea why, we were probably the only place in the state that actually had power.
No way.
When it was all said and done. It was all said. I mean, you look out beyond Deering Oaks up towards Forest Avenue, complete blackout. Complete, total blackout. But for us on the peninsula, likely being fed from the power station out on Cousins Island in Yarmouth, we were one of the very few places in the state at that particular point that had power. And for, and I mean, knowing people went weeks without power, and in some cases maybe even a couple of months, due to the widespread devastation. I mean, I still to this day, it blows my mind.
Yeah. Do you ever get nervous that it's going to happen again?
I haven't really, in the 13 years that I've been doing forecasting, I haven't really seen anything that really has made me concerned. Have we had ice storms since then? Yes. Yeah. Have we had some bad windstorms since? Yes. I mean, I'm thinking we're coming up on the anniversary of the twin storms from January 2024 that I mentioned in my Substack this morning. That we had a couple inside runners that brought strong southeast winds and just absolutely destroyed the shorelines and caused all kinds of flooding and I mean, you see a little bit more like that, even though that was really the last two storms that we had of any sort of significance around here, given the drought conditions that we've been in.
Mike,
that's a whole other subject in itself.
Yeah. Hey, does the government control the weather?
I would say not. No.
Okay. You never know.
No. The government doesn't control the weather, and the government may have its opinions on the weather, but
right.
The weather does what the weather's going to do, and it doesn't matter if this. Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right. Glad we cleared that up. Mike Haggett's our guest this morning, talking about the ice storm of 1998, the fact that government doesn't control the weather. But you mentioned Substack with Pine Tree. You've made a big change in the new year with how people get the information from you. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I've switched to Substack basically because of the fact that I wanted one clearinghouse for all of my information. Unfortunately, with social media, the way that it works, when you work off of multiple platforms, some information goes one place that may not get to another. So between my Blue Sky, my Xbox, and my Facebook account, I've decided to streamline everything into one centralized location. It's pinetreeweather.substack.com. So everybody, whether they're on social media or not, and I have those too that just despise it. They just want to see everything that I put out. So pinetreeweather.substack.com is my clearinghouse for all the weather information that I provide.
Now, Mike is on the show because you are someone based in York County. Where are you? Where does Pine Tree Weather originate from?
Pine Tree Weather originates from Kennebunk. I moved down here back in the spring of 2018, and I've had a chance to experience quite a bit that's gone on down here over the years. And I'm right near the center of town, and absolutely love this area. And it's a great little perch to kind of keep an eye on things close to the ocean, but yet see the differences within a couple of miles between the ocean and what happens a little bit further inland.
Well, we love what you do and appreciate the facts and not the sensationalized forecast that we can sometimes get from other outlets. You stick to what's actually going to happen, or at least the best that you can forecast. Mike Haggett of Pine Tree Weather joining us here this morning. Thanks a lot for your time, Mike.
Have a great day, Andy. Thanks for the invite.
York County's morning show.